Hey everybody, I'm Charlotte and this is The Daily. We talk all things skincare, fashion, fitness, and nutrition for women over 40. This is a fun video today that I'm gonna bring to you. It's a fall makeup look. It's a kind of I don't know if it's a tutorial as much as I just wanna try it on with you. So I was watching TikTok and I will definitely link the tutorial that I saw on TikTok. I'll link the creator in my description box, but she gave me some really good ideas about different color choices and things that I can do with my eyes. So I'm thrilled to know that I can share this with you as well while I'm trying it on for myself. So this is the first time I'm going to be trying many of these products. Now, just so you know, I'm a drugstore shopper typically. On a day-to-day, I typically wear drugstore makeup with some department store mixed in. So I went ahead and made a trip to MAC this weekend, and I bought a couple of the colors that she had suggested, or that she was actually wearing to create the makeup look. And so those will be sort of in my makeup collection, as well as all of my, drugstore makeup. I have nothing against drugstore makeup, and I don't think that you have to buy top of the line makeup. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now's the time to hit that red subscribe button, because I'd love to have you join this community of women. We have a lot of fun around here. Without further ado, let's get started. The full face of makeup that you see here on YouTube is typically not what I do on a regular basis. I don't use lashes. I rarely use foundation on a regular day-to-day basis. So I'm definitely making myself up more than I would on a regular basis. The thing is that I love playing with makeup, and I love kind of the transformation. It makes me feel really good. It's a lot of fun to, to put makeup on. I don't have any makeup on, but I will tell you how I prep my face before I put my makeup on a daily basis. I wash my face with, it's cream de foam Cerave facial wash. Because I do have dry skin, I want to really make sure I take care of it and use a face wash that isn't going to dry me out even more. Okay, so after I wash my face, in between, let your face dry a little bit. Don't put these products on necessarily with wet skin, because sometimes it can be irritating. So just watch your products. This is a Cerave vitamin C serum. I absolutely love it. It's very glowing under makeup. It definitely gives your skin a real nice brightening effect. After that, I use 4 pumps of the Cerave nighttime moisturizer. So I'm not using the daytime. This is the nighttime. It's a little bit heavier, but still not heavy. I don't feel like it's a real thick cream, and it really wears well under makeup. So I do that. Then I let that dry a bit. Then I go in and use my Elta MD Broad Spectrum 44 Tinted Sunscreen. Now, this is a really, really good sunscreen that I wear year round. Whether it's spring, summer, fall, or winter, I'm always wearing this underneath my makeup. It really does, well, for me, I don't want any more brown spots on my face. This is really, really good, and it even works well kind of evening out your skin tone if you don't want to wear foundation. Like I said, I sometimes don't wear foundation, and I just wear this, and then I wear a concealer and brighten up under my eyes and things like that. So this is a really good one, and it wears so well under makeup. I have found so many that don't, so this one's good. I let that dry up a little bit, and I love using this Magic Lumi, and this is by L'Oreal. I don't know if you've tried this, but I'm telling you, a couple of pumps of this on the palm and kind of emulsify it into your face is so beautiful, especially under makeup. So when it first goes on, it's going to look a little iridescent. Now, just know that that is not the final look, because you're going to be applying your foundation on top of that, and it's just going to kind of glow through. So it's not going to make you look greasy. It's just going to give you a brightening effect. It's so pretty, and it just makes the makeup appear satiny. So, and I don't always use primer, like makeup primer. So that's not going to be included in today's makeup tutorial. Oh, by the way, this is a primer. So I don't know why I'm whispering. I get close to the camera and I feel like I have to whisper. Okay, so this is something new. I've never used Merit before. This is a makeup brand that is sold at Sephora. Did not know that they were sold at Sephora. Actually, they reached out to me and I didn't work with them. I didn't know much about their brand. So now that they're at Sephora, I thought, well, I'm gonna go ahead and try a complexion stick. So I picked the color that I thought, would match up with me, and I'm gonna test it out today. So it's a complexion stick. This is a cruelty-free brand. So it's a vegan brand. So this is the color. I will list and link all of the colors. This is a light color. I am very light, and just so you know, it is better to you know, start with a light face and build upon that to make any kind of contouring, bronzing. It's just so much easier to darken up the face rather than to put something too dark on the face and have to brighten it up. If you saw my last video, you know that I don't use a whole lot of brushes or sponges if I don't need to. I just do a lot of, I kind of use my fingers, the warmth of my fingers, to blend in my makeup because I do think it kind of melds to the skin a little bit better. And it's just always worked better for me that way. I've tried both, I have both, but to me, my fingers just work so well. And I may speed some of these things up depending on how long they take, so we're not sitting here all day and the video is not quite as long. So the color is probably the color of my natural skin tone. So you know I do self-tan a lot, probably about once or twice a week, but I don't self-tan my face the same way that I self-tan my body. So I can definitely bronze my face up after the fact. So it may not match like my arm, but as long as it matches like your neck or the inside of your wrist even. Go more for your neck if you can. Keep in mind, I'm not using concealer right now. I'm gonna use that after the eyeshadow is placed, because if you have any fallout, that really takes care of that. So it makes it really nice. Correct. If I need any color correction, I'm gonna go ahead and dot that right now. And I'm just gonna use the stick, the Complexion Stick. And when you do, that's a little sunspot right there, by the way. It's getting lighter as I'm doing my skincare. Like it's literally lightening up. When you do apply concealer on like a spot or a blemish or something like that, let it sit there to kind of absorb just a little bit, because otherwise you're just gonna wipe it right off the surface. Let it dry there, and then when you're done, either use a little tiny brush and lightly tap it, or use your finger very, very lightly and tap it around so it blends in, but you don't wanna take it back off. Typically you will use my like Shape Tape concealer and put some of that up there as well, because it kind of brightens it just a little bit. And you know, I'm gonna get my concealer, hang on. Okay, so here's my Shape Tape concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and place that right on top of my eyelids and use that as a base. It also gives it a little bit of a brightness to it. Just like that. And then just make sure you get like right there at your nose too. And make sure it's kind of not like in your eyebrows. That's a big thing too. I'm going to put a base color on my eyelid. You can use like a regular translucent powder if you want. I'm gonna be using a base color, and this is the base color. I'm going to list and link all of these colors in my description box. I think it's called Blank Type. But I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger, and I'm just gonna pat it right here on my movable eyelid as well as the rest of my eye. And the reason I'm doing that is to make a kind of sliding base. So I don't want the base to be tacky. Otherwise it's gonna grab a hold of some of the color and it's gonna appear darker in some areas. And it also just helps the blending process. Definitely want to set that concealer down so that you also don't get transfer from your eyeliner. So this is looking a little bit pale, I understand. I will certainly use something to bronze me up, so don't worry about that. This is the Samoan Silk, and I'm gonna put it on a dense brush just like that. This is an e.l.f. brush. I'll list this brush. You don't have to have an e.l.f. brush, but you could. If you don't have a brush, go ahead and get an e.l.f. brush because they're pretty reasonable and pretty good. This is just a dense brush. That's what we're using, as a dense brush, okay? And I'm just gonna go ahead and press it down on my movable eye. Just press it everywhere. On my movable eyelid, that's where I want it to go. Okay, and then go on the other side. Just a nice dense brush because you want that color payout. And if you have a loose brush, it just kind of moves the powder around too much. It moves the shadow. So you want a denser brush, just like that, to get the color payout. It seems like, you know, you can have a heavy hand with this. It doesn't seem like it's terribly pigmented. So it's definitely something that you can kind of go over a couple of times. Now, the next thing she did, which I thought was really cool, was she showed me because she was doing the video just for me. Just kidding. This is a Milani matte bronzer, and this is in the color Suntan. So it's a number 03 Suntan. Make sure you get that because there's also another one, I think it's 01, and it's called Sun something else. Fluffy brush, and I'm gonna dip that in. Now I don't know the payout of this either, and then I'm just gonna go along my crease line, just like that. Now remember when you're doing your crease, not to go in a downward motion. You don't wanna drag your eyes down. Everything, if you like the look, goes up into an upward motion, just like this. And then get the corner of that eye, and then do the other side. Just like that. And make sure it doesn't go, that you don't pull it down. I am going to take this on my finger, and I'm gonna put a little bit of color down because I don't know if I got enough on there. You know, my own little twist to it by applying some of that base color right up here. It kind of just cleans it up just a little bit. If you are looking to clean up your eyeshadow and you're not applying it perfectly, no worries. I'm gonna take my concealer with my finger, and I'm just gonna place it in the corner of my eye. And what you wanna do is go down in a little bit of a V. But what you don't wanna do is just take it all the way to the edge where you start to get the crow's feet, okay? So you're just gonna blend it on over there in a minute. But this really brightens things up right away. So Maybelline. There's one by Clinique that I like as well, but that's more of a department store. This is one that has just been in, it's just, I purchase this over and over. It's my everyday, doesn't cost quite as much as the one from Clinique. And this works really nicely as well. I put it right there, right at my Cupid's bow, right at the tip of my nose. And then if that hasn't lightened up enough, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that since it's been sitting for a while, but it seems like it's kind of covered. So maybe I won't put any extra. Okay, I'll put just a little bit. But then kind of whatever I do to that side, I kind of like to do to this side because I don't want there to be a light spot over there, you know? So I'll kind of do the same. And then I'll just go ahead and start rubbing in, and I also bring it up here and above my brows. So that's where I put my concealer. I use it almost as a brightening as well. So I just brighten the tip of my nose there. Make sure everything's really nice and blended, and then also my chin. So anything you want to stand out, you brighten. Anything you want to not show as much, you darken. So that's why I don't use a whole lot of contouring, because I feel like it kind of hollows out my cheeks just a little bit, and I don't like that as much. So I do try to focus on kind of underneath here when it comes to, you know, contouring or bronzing. But I don't really like to give myself any depth in my cheeks. Okay, so they have a light translucent powder, very fine milled powder by e.l.f. I have that as well. I also have this one. This one is by Revolution, and I've had this forever because a little bit goes a long way. I just open it. It has like a little salt and pepper shaker thing on it, and I put a little bit in my hand just like this. By e.l.f. It's just a fluffy brush, and I dip it, and I tap it, dip it and tap it, and then I set my under eyes. So as you could see before, I didn't really take my foundation up under my eyes because less is more. And this powder is nice because it's very fine milled. Light, it's in fair light, okay? Like I said, you can build upon lighter makeup. You can make it darker and darker, but it's really hard if you start with a darker foundation and you're trying to lighten it up. You know, that's just not, I don't recommend that. I recommend starting with a lighter face. And now what I'm doing is just tapping through and setting the complexion stick. Just like that. Just tap through. And I'm just gonna tell you that I love using a brush for powders, like a big kabuki brush or something like that over a powder sponge, because I think the powder sponge just gets too cakey. It really does. I purchased this specifically for my eyelid, like my crease area, but I'm gonna see how this works as what it's for. It's a bronzer. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is how I apply my bronzer. I just get a bronzing brush, one that is exclusively for bronzing, and I go ahead and start adding color to my jawline. Okay, that's the first thing. Add color to your jawline. I go up And then I may do a little here, but that's definitely from the fallout. I don't like to put too much color there, too much contouring going on there. So now I'm just darkening. Smells a little bit coconutty, so if you're not into fragrance, this one does have a little bit of fragrance. Well, I just told you I wasn't going to put it in my cheek. This is what happens when you get on and you start doing makeup. It's like you kind of forget what you're doing. The blush that I'm using today is called Age Perfect, and I can't read that, so I have to list it. But that's the color. It's kind of a rosy color. And I wanted to show you this too. I brought this whole little brush container over. I purchased this from Home Goods. It says Create. And I think that that is a really cute little ceramic to put your brushes in because it will go with your decor possibly. It's so cute and keeps the brushes out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna apples of the cheeks. So keep them above your contouring space, okay? Really brighten the cheeks and keep it above the contouring space. Okay, and then I do a little bit of here, and this is where I go contouring a little bit. I use my blush. I was just looking back at the footage and realized that my camera stopped just as I was applying the eyeliner. So this is what I want to show you that I did. I purchased this one from CoverGirl. It is kind of a bronzy gold. I will list and link this one. And I went ahead and lined the outside of my bottom lashes with it. I went all the way across, and it just gives a beautiful sheen and gold starting point to your liner look. The next thing I did was I picked up this, it's by MAC, it's called Costa Riche, and it's a brown color, and I'm not really comfortable with browns. Like in the past, I have not been comfortable with browns. I like black, and then I typically will go over the black with some kind of a gray blue to lighten it up a little bit. However, I tried this one since I bought it, and I love it. So you want to line your upper lash from the corner to the end of your lash line, but then you want to end it by winging it up. So you never want to end it going down or straight across to the end of your eyelash, but you want to wing it up. It doesn't match up with your actual lash line. It's going to be winged up, okay? Same on both sides, and then take this same color and line the waterline of both eyes. So you have a beautiful look because you have an outline. The outside of your lash line is that gold color. So it doesn't appear too dark, okay? And then the next thing I did was I took the brush. It's a blending brush, just like this, got a little point to it. It's kind of dense. And this is just a brush by, I think, e.l.f. And then I just literally drug the liner across to soften it up. So you just do that across the top and across the, on both eyes. Okay, so that's the part we're missing here, okay? And not to mention, I'm looking at the footage and there's a little bit too, I bronzed up a little bit too much, like right here or somewhere. It's just hard to see in this camera. So hang on. Okay, so you're just blending on both sides, top and bottom. And you take it all the way across. So it looks like that. Actually, I'm gonna use this one today. This is by e.l.f. And this is a taupey, kind of a blonde color. It's got a little spoolie on one end, and the other end has a mechanical taupey color pencil. I'm gonna just brush my eyebrows up. I don't spend a whole lot of time on my brows. So I just kind of brush them up, and you can see that mine are getting a little lighter through the tail end of my brow. And I didn't do a whole lot of plucking when I was a kid. It just kind of happens, you know, you just kind of lose some of your eyebrows. And so what I do is I take this little mechanical pencil and I trace underneath the brow, okay? So it's gonna look like this. So basically I'm just kind of filling in, not really reshaping too much, just filling in, and then I'm gonna go on the top and do the same thing. But I'm gonna give myself a little bit of an arch. So take that eyebrow, and I'm just gonna follow the curve right through there. And don't worry, I will clean this up. I've shown you in the past how I do that. It's pretty neat because you can be kind of almost as sloppy as you want with your eyebrows. Just fill them in there, you know? Now what you don't want to do is put a lot of color right here. You want all the color to be out here. And then this is just really, really lightly combed through. Some of you may take a lot more time on your brows. That's not one of the things that I take a lot of time on. And then the other, so you know, you do the other, you just kind of follow the inside of where your natural eyebrow would be. And again, don't pull these down. Don't pull these down. And I'll clean anything up so that it always stays up, okay? Because you kind of want them to go down slightly, but more like they kind of stay high. You don't want to drag them down, okay? And I do the other side. I just trace the top and go until I meet that area where I want it to be curved a little bit, slightly, and then just like that. And then I'm going to take this and just lightly, with a very light hand, fill in any spots right up there, okay? So it looks kind of like that. This flat brush by MAC, it's my concealer brush that I use to clean up my eyebrows. And then I use this concealer by MAC. I've had it for a couple of years. You don't have to use much. And I just kind of get a little bit off on this, maybe wipe it a little bit on my hands so that you don't get a lot of extra on the brow. And you just go up underneath the brow and you literally trace where the brow is. This brightens the eyes so much. It's so cool. And you just trace it, and this cleans it up and brightens up your eye for sure, okay? And so then you do the very same thing on the top. But the one thing that you don't want to do is leave a line there. So you want to make sure that when you're done kind of correcting and framing, that you go through and you blend it out, because it doesn't look good when you can see the line. Okay, so that's definitely a little tip. And I'm going to do the same on the other. Trace it just like that. And then that's when you can clean up the edge too, so it doesn't feel like it's going down. And then the other, then go up top, trace it, do the same thing. And that's kind of how I do my brows. And then just blend, make sure that's all blended out. Because I love trying new mascaras. This is in the color black. It's called Highly Rated Mascara. In the color black, I do not use waterproof. I do not like to scrub waterproof off. It's just not worth it to me. I just don't want to lose any of my lashes. So you can curl your eyelashes, but for the sake of the video, I'm just going to go ahead and start applying the mascara. Hopefully I don't poke my eye out. Now this is the first time using it, so you know with time, mascara gets better. It just really does. I'm just hoping that this gives me some lift and some length, lift and length, okay? That's what I'm looking for. Oh, it's looking kind of nice. I've not used Milani mascara before. But you know, across the board, Milani has been pretty good. They're really good with their lip liners, and eyeshadow palettes are really nice by Milani too. And now I'm kind of into the mascara. So it's always good to try, you know, new stuff. And the thing is that I know that my mom was so allergic to so many different makeups. And, you know, if you're allergic, I'm sorry about that, because that's tough. And what she would have to do is she would all of a sudden become allergic to it. Like, she would be using makeup for however long, and then all of a sudden wake up one day and her eye would be like so puffed out, and then she'd have to do process of elimination about what is it that started making her have this allergic reaction. So, you know, when I say I like to try new mascara, I know that not everybody can. And I mean, you know, because they run the risk of allergic reactions. So a second coat over here. I am going to put lashes on. So this is how I do it. I always put my mascara on and then put my lashes on. Now, if you have any fallout with your mascara, like I did right there, just let it dry. These are the eyelashes I use. I'm going to use some that I already have. They're the same brand. I'm just not going to open the box until I'm done with the others. But these are called Lash Couture Faux Mini Mink Collection. And I'm going to grab my other lashes. These are called Jubilee. That's what that little word says right there, Jubilee. This is just a really handy trick. If you ever have any fallout of mascara, like if you tap your eyelid or something like that and it just looks messy, let it dry. Do not touch it at the moment that you do it. because it'll just literally wipe right off with a Q-tip. So you're not ruining your makeup look, okay? So what I typically do is cut this in half, and then I will use the front portion of it as wispies on the tail end of my lashes. That's how I do it. I don't do anything fancy. I basically pull it off of there just like that. Sometimes I give it a real quick bend like that, and then I will take it and cut it right in the middle. And I'll just cut it right in the middle and use the front side. And if I don't ruin it, I'll use the back side for later. That's what I typically do. So I kind of get 2 sets of lashes that way. However, the other side is a little bit longer. So you have to bring those inward a little bit more so that you don't have a long wing hanging off the end of your eyelash. Okay, so this is what it looks like right here. You want to use the longer hairs to kind of set to where they look like the longer lashes on the outside of the eye. Now, the glue that I use is this glue right here. This is by Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive. So I never put a lash on without cutting it. I just don't like the look. I think it closes up my eyes too much. It almost reminds me of when I used to get like lash extensions. So you just paint this little brush. You know, I used to use the tube and it would like bubble out. It was just, it was messy. So this is neat. You just kind of, just like that. And it kind of comes up iridescent so you can see it really well. And you hold it for like 30 seconds because you want that glue to kind of get tacky. Oh, and when I place this, by the way, I place it at an angle so that it matches up with the angled liner. It matches up with the tail of the liner. And then I just place it right there. And you see how it's kind of going up just a little bit? And then as it's drying, I'm pushing it up, just like that. So you see how it's just at the edge? So all of you who are just really do not like putting lashes on, isn't this easy? Isn't this an easy way to have longer lashes without all the headache? Because, you know, when you have a complete strip lash, to try to put that on to where it's seamless is really not that fun. Just gonna paint a little bit on the edge, just like that. There, do you see how it's iridescent? Isn't that great? I mean, that way you know where you put the glue, which is fantastic in my opinion. So I've been to the eye doctor. Now I haven't been this year, but the last time I went to the eye doctor, he said I didn't need glasses. He said, and if you need readers, if you feel like you're more comfortable in readers, just pick a pair up at Walgreens and go as strong as you'd like. I was always under the impression that if you wore glasses before you were ready, that it could damage your eyes. But apparently he was just like, wear them to the point where you feel comfortable. So when you're no longer straining your eyes, but he said, you know, I can prescribe you some readers, but you don't need glasses. So I don't want to have to wear them, but you know, I wear them when I read. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Where I'm placing it is right in the center, is as close as you want to go, okay? Bring this piece up, just like that. Like you're almost giving it a curl, just like that. And then I kind of look at both sides and like I kind of do this too. Hold them nice and lightly, but hold them up so that your eye comes up just like that. So remember, angle that lash if you want your eye to be up, okay? How easy was that? How easy was that? So easy. You want to wipe your lips off, you know, and then you want to also wipe off your lips and then moisturize them if you want to. I moisturize mine like in the morning, and then I also moisturize them when I'm sleeping. This is going to be a bit darker than I typically go, but this is going to be fall, and I'm really excited about it. So this is Soar, and this is the color she used on the TikTok that I watched. I line it a little bit on the top. If you saw my last tutorial or my last makeup look, you'll see what I do on the top. You know, I want to line it, but then I want to take it across. So I'll show you in a minute. So. And also I love an ombre look. So I like to blend my lipstick into my liner so that it looks more ombre. And sometimes on camera and sometimes not on camera, it looks like my lip liner is showing too much. So my daughter will even tell me, you know, that just, you need to, you know, I need to blend it. So it's a really pretty color. Then I'll do the top. And the last time I think I did a tutorial with you guys, I mentioned that I go all the way to the corners of my lips. You don't have to do that. So I almost think if you just add the color there and stop the liner in a certain spot, it almost makes you, especially if you have like downturn lips, you know, you don't want to accentuate that. This is how I line them. And then after that, after I line the lip, then sometimes I go through and take this, it's kind of a lip trick, and just take them together. Just like that. See how it makes the top look fuller? Just like that. The next thing I'm gonna do is use this lipstick. Now, this is not typically my color. And the girl that had this lipstick, it comes out a little bit lighter than this. The girl that had the lipstick actually had the lipstick, but they discontinued it. So this is the color of the lipstick she was using, but it's in a different formulation, like it's a liquid, okay? So I'm not used to liquids as much. It always reminds me of a gloss, but it's a lipstick. Definitely is fall. Do you know, if you're into darker colors, this is so pretty. I don't think it's quite as dark as it looks in the tube. Maybe it is. And let me grab another color. Okay, so I'm gonna grab the 920, but this is a drugstore. I think it might be CoverGirl. And I'm gonna go ahead and put it there. And there. So I'm not really taking the color up too much. I'm just taking it up just enough. And then I'm gonna blend my lip liner into my lipstick. Just like that. Well, this is just a little bit light. This is my skin color. However, when I'm tan like this, it doesn't go as much. So I would just go ahead and bronze up a little bit more, or while I'm tanning, I may use the other shade, another shade, you know. However, I think you can always build upon. So yeah, I'm already getting a little bit darker. I think it needs to be if I want to match my skin tone. So that's gorgeous. And what I do want to tell you is, I know my hair is kind of grown out right here. I am going to use something that a lot of people have been using. It's a home kit that Madison Reed formulates. And I, with my own money, went on their website and, you know, didn't pick my shade. They formulate. So you let them know like the colors and different things, like what color is your normal hair, what color is your desired look, that kind of thing. And they formulate a color to cover your gray. You tell them what percentage of gray and things like that. And they show you pictures. So just someone that doesn't even do hair, those are the type of questions that you can answer. So I answered just like I didn't do hair. So I'm gonna do my roots with this Madison Reed and give you my review on the product and how I think it, you know, makes my hair feel afterward and the coverage that it gives. And it's just that the it's an at-home subscription. I have not been paid for this. I've not been, you know, prompted to do this. I just thought this sounds like a great idea to me. I want to try Madison Reed. I want to see if the color is something that I would use professionally. You know what I mean? Like, is this a formulation that I know that like somebody from home could put in their information and get a color and actually do it at home where it looks salon. I wanted to do a review on it. So I'm gonna be doing that. So that's why my color is kind of off right now. As you can tell, it needs to be done. But this is a really pretty makeup look. I'd love to know what you think. I am looking forward to hearing from you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. I feel like I'm gonna have to cut a little bit of this because it got so long. But thank you for watching, and remember to like this video if you like videos like this one, and let me know what you want to see in the comments. I will definitely accommodate because I'm probably interested in videos that you're interested in. So what do you want to see? Let me know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, right now's the time to hit that red subscribe button. I would not want you to miss another video, and I'd love to have you join this community of women because we have a lot of fun around here. Until next time, God bless you.